the 21-year-old Filipina had started the year outside the top 50. She had struggled on clay, watched her ranking wobble, and faced questions about whether she could sustain her breakthrough. But by the time Wimbledon ended, Alexandra Eala had done something that no Filipino had ever done before. Now, the WTA had taken notice. Eala had been nominated for the Most Improved Player of the Year award, joining a list of past winners that includes Maria Sharapova, Serena Williams, and Coco Gauff. And the tennis world was divided. Some argued that her rise from number 53 to number 28 in a single season was undeniable. Others pointed to her struggles against lower-ranked opponents. But one thing was certain, the Eala Effect had officially become a topic of debate at the highest levels of the sport. The year had started quietly. Alexandra Eala entered 2026 ranked number 53 in the world, a promising player with a bright future but still searching for consistency. She made a strong semifinal run at the ASB Classic in Auckland, a WTA 250 event, but then came the Australian Open. An early first-round exit that left her with just 10 ranking points. The clay season that followed was even more challenging. She struggled to advance deep into tournaments, exiting the Linz Open in the round of 16 and the Stuttgart Open in the round of 32. By April, her ranking had tumbled to number 46, and questions were being asked about whether her breakthrough 2025 season had been a flash in the pan. But then came the grass court swing. And everything changed. Eala won her second WTA 125 title at the Birmingham Open, reached the round of 16 of the HSBC Championships, and then produced the most impressive run of her career at the Berlin Tennis Open, where she defeated two top 10 opponents en route to a semi-final appearance. Her ranking surged back into the top 30 at number 30, setting the stage for Wimbledon at the All England Club, where she was seeded No. 29, Eala became the first Filipino to reach the second week of a Grand Slam singles tournament in the Open era. She defeated defending champion Iga Swiatek on center court 7-6-9, 6-2, in a performance that stunned the tennis world. The victory earned her 240 WTA ranking points and pushed her to a career-high number 28 in the world. The statistics against Swiatek told the story of her improvement. Eala committed only 21 unforced errors while Swiatek tallied 44, and she generated 71 breakpoints compared to Swiatek's 27. It was not just a win, it was a statement. For a player who had started the year outside the top 50 and faced a rocky clay season, the transformation was remarkable. By July, she had compiled a 12-4 record on grass and gone 7-4 against top 10 opponents. Fans and analysts began drawing comparisons to past winners of the WTA Most Improved Player Award, a list that includes Maria Sharapova, Serena Williams, and Coco Gauff. And then the WTA took notice. Eala had been nominated for the Most Improved Player of the Year award. The numbers made a compelling argument for why Alexandra Eala deserved to be in the conversation for the WTA's Most Improved Player of the Year. Eala had started 2026 at World No. 53 and climbed to a career-high number 28 by July. That climb had not been linear. The clay season had sent her ranking tumbling back to number 46 at one point, but the trajectory was undeniable. She had not just improved incrementally. She had transformed her game on the surface that had once been her greatest weakness. Her 2026 grass court campaign was the most impressive stretch of her career. She captured the WTA 125 title in Birmingham, then reached the semifinals of the WTA 500 Berlin Open, where she defeated two top 10 opponents in Elena Rybakina and Alina Svitolina. She compiled a 12-4 record on grass and went 7-4 against top 10 opponents. At Wimbledon, seeded No. 29, Eala became the first Filipino to reach the second week of a Grand Slam singles tournament in the Open era. The victory over defending champion Iga Swiatek on center court earned her 240 ranking points and pushed her to her career best ranking. In the match, she committed only 21 unforced errors, while Swiatek tallied 44, and she generated 71 breakpoints compared to Swiatek's 27. The award's selection criteria emphasized demonstrable growth from prior seasons and prioritize objective indicators like ranking jumps. Past winners include Maria Sharapova, Serena Williams, Coco Gauff, and Emma Navarro. The 2024 winner, Emma Navarro, had surged from number 38 to no. 8-year end, winning her first WTA title in Hobart and securing 3 top 5 victories. Eala's supporters pointed to her record against the sports elite as evidence of her improvement. Since her breakthrough at the Miami Open in 2025, she had defeated Madison Keys, Iga Swiatek, Jasmine Paolini, Coco Gauff, Elena Rybakina, and Elina Svitolina. She was not just beating lower-ranked players. She was beating the best players in the world.
The numbers were undeniable. Eala had climbed from number 53 to number 28 in a single season. She had beaten the defending Wimbledon champion on center court. She had defeated 2 top 10 opponents in Berlin and compiled a 12-4 record on grass. But not everyone was convinced that she deserved the Most Improved Player nomination. The critics pointed to a troubling inconsistency that had plagued her career. Since the beginning of 2025, Eala had gone 7-4 against top 10 opponents. Against players ranked 11th to 50th, she was 11-6, a respectable but not exceptional mark. The glaring weakness, however, was against lower-ranked players. Against opponents outside the top 50, Eala had a record of just 18-27, a statistic that raised questions about her ability to consistently beat the players she was supposed to beat. The data was part of the analysis from her coaching team at the Rafa Nadal Academy. Her serve, in particular, had become a subject of intense scrutiny. According to WTA statistics, Eala's first serve percentage stood at just 63%, while her points won on second serves hovered at 47.2%. In terms of points won on first serves, she ranked 128th on the entire WTA Tour. She had only recorded 56 aces, compared to Aryna Sabalenka's 203. Her first serve speed at Wimbledon averaged just 86 miles per hour, with her second serve dropping to only 75 miles per hour. But the critics acknowledged that she was still young. At 21 years old, she had time to address those weaknesses, and her record against the sports elite was undeniable. Since her breakthrough at the Miami Open in 2025, she had defeated Madison Keys, Iga Swiatek, Jasmine Paolini, Coco Gauff, Elena Rybakina, and Elina Svitolina. She was not just beating lower-ranked players, she was beating the best players in the world. The debate over Eala's nomination reflected the tension at the heart of the Most Improved Player award. It was not just about ranking jumps, it was about transformation. And for the Filipina sensation, her transformation from a top 50 player to a genuine contender on the sport's biggest stages was a story that few could ignore.
The WTA Most Improved Player nomination had sparked one of the most heated debates of the 2026 season. But as the tennis world argued over whether Alex Eala deserved the honor, a deeper question emerged. What did the award actually mean? And how did the selection process work? The WTA Most Improved Player Award originated in 1977, aligning with the tour's early structure to formally recognize seasonal excellence in women's professional tennis. The criteria emphasized demonstrable growth from prior seasons, prioritizing objective indicators like ranking jumps over subjective narratives. Past winners of the award included names that had defined generations of tennis: Maria Sharapova, Serena Williams, Coco Gauff, Emma Navarro, and Barbora Krejcikova. Eala's case was compelling. She had started the year at number 53 and climbed to number 28, a jump of 25 spots. Her grass court season had been transformative. She won the WTA 125 title in Birmingham, reached the semifinals of the WTA 500 Berlin Open, and became the first Filipino to reach the second week of a Grand Slam singles tournament in the Open era. She had gone 7-4 against top 10 opponents, including victories over defending Wimbledon champion Iga Swiatek and world number 2 Elena Rybakina. But the critics pointed to the same concerns. Her serve remained a persistent weakness. Her first serve percentage was just 63%, and she ranked 128th on the WTA Tour in points won on first serves. Her record against players outside the top 50 was 18-27. A statistic that raised questions about her ability to consistently beat lower-ranked players. As the debate raged, Eala herself remained focused on what mattered most. "I know I put a lot of effort into my serve," she had said after her Wimbledon run. "People don't know how much effort I put into my serve. So when I go out and have a bad serving day, it's okay because I know I did my best." The debate over Alex Eala's Most Improved Player nomination had consumed the tennis world for weeks. But as the season drew to a close, one question remained. What had the Filipina sensation actually accomplished, and what did it mean for the future of her career? The numbers were clear. Eala had started the year at number 53 and climbed to a career high number 28 by July. She had become the first Filipino to reach the second week of a Grand Slam singles tournament in the Open era. She had defeated the defending Wimbledon champion on center court. She had gone 7-4 against top 10 opponents and compiled a 12-4 record on grass. She had won her second WTA Under 25 title in Birmingham and reached the semifinals of a WTA 500 event in Berlin. And she had done it all while carrying the hopes of a nation of 110 million people on her shoulders. The skeptics pointed to the same concerns they had raised throughout the season. Her serve remained a persistent weakness. According to WTA statistics, her first serve percentage stood at just 63%, while her points won on second serves hovered at 47.2%. Her record against players outside the top 50 was 18-27. At Wimbledon, she had averaged just 86.3 miles per hour on her first serves, well below the WTA average of 100 to 105 miles per hour. The comparison to past winners of the Most Improved Player Award was instructive. Past winners included Maria Sharapova, Serena Williams, Coco Gauff, Emma Navarro, and Barbora Krejcikova. In 2014, Eugenie Bouchard won the award after climbing from number 31 to number 7. In 2017, Jelena Ostapenko won after winning her first Grand Slam title at the French Open and breaking into the top 10. In 2021, Anett Kontaveit was nominated after winning 29 of her last 33 matches, including a 12-match winning streak. Eala's year did not match those benchmarks. She had not won a WTA title. She had not broken into the top 20. She had not sustained her success over the entire season. But what she had done was something that no Filipino had ever done before. She had reached the second week of a Grand Slam. She had beaten the defending champion. She had climbed into the top 30, and she had done it at 21 years old. The WTA Most Improved Player Award was not just about the numbers. It was about the story. And Eala's story was unlike anything the tennis world had ever seen. A player from a country without a tennis tradition, a country where tennis courts were often painted over basketball courts, had broken through on the biggest stage in the sport. She had inspired a nation of 110 million people and ignited a movement that had transformed the economics of women's tennis. The award could go to another player. But the Eala Effect was already bigger than any trophy. For Eala, the nomination was validation. But she was not satisfied. She had started 2026 outside the top 50. She had ended it in the top 30. But she knew that the work was just beginning. Her serve needed improvement. Her consistency against lower-ranked opponents needed to get better. And her ranking needed to keep climbing. "I know I put a lot of effort into my serve," she had said after her Wimbledon run. "People don't know how much effort I put into my serve. So when I go out and have a bad serving day, it's okay because I know I did my best." The fans who had packed stadiums across the globe believed in her. The tennis world was watching. And as Eala prepared for the hard-court swing, she carried with her the lessons of a season that had already made her a legend in her homeland. The Most Improved Player nomination was just the beginning.